Hello everyone, and welcome to another day of NGS. We are here with the quarterfinals of the heroic division. Oh, and we are already in the lobby, and someone has sent me the map pick and bans. Okay, so I do have them, but will take me a little bit of time to get that done. But either way, it's going to be potential Scrim Thursday versus BoomerGaming. Now, if we take a look over at the standings, assuming that will function today, it is the 4th and 5th position today. So, these are two teams that are pretty close together in terms of the rankings. But last time they faced off, potential Scrim Thursday did win 2-0. So, could still be a decently close game. And if we look over at the playoff bracket, there's still going to be one quarterfinal left to play, but will be on the way shortly. Now, let me just do the map pick and bans here real quick. Just because of, they kind of made the lobby and then told me what they were doing, but all good. We're ready, just trying to do a couple things at the same time. But the map pick is now done. And again, this is going to be the best of 5. And potential Scrim Thursday, they did decide to take the first pick for themselves. So the bans are as follows. It's going to be Sky Temple and Braxis Holdout banned by BoomerGaming, and while Sky Foundry and Cursed Hollow banned by potential Scrim Thursday. And map number 1 is going to be the Garden of Terror. This is more of a macro-centered map compared to, well, at least a lot of the others. But as we all know, potential Scrim Thursday, they love to play aggressively. They love to just be in the thick of things, and I really wouldn't be surprised to see them just kind of playing super front and forward. But yeah, now we are already doing the ready check, so I apologize if I was going through this a little bit quickly, but looks like I managed to catch up before the game started. So before we do continue, I would like to give a quick shout out to the sponsor for today's stream, HelloFresh. And because I've been describing it so poorly, I actually managed to find a little script that they were kind enough to send my way. But HelloFresh is a meal service kit that makes it easier to fit quick, home-cooked meals into your schedule every week by curating delicious recipes, delivering perfectly portioned ingredients, and minimizing prep time. That's what HelloFresh is. And it's something I've used before, so that's why I'm like happy to use the script here. But either way, we're in the draft number 1. We're all sick of me trying to throw sponsors, so let's get on to the Nexus. Now, this should be a pretty solid match today. I mean, again, when they last faced off, potential Scrim Thursday, they did 2-0 BoomerGaming, and I cast that match. It wasn't really a close series either. However, that was also very, very early in the season, and BoomerGaming had only just gotten into the heroic division. They have improved a lot since then. I believe at that point they were near the bottom of the standings, but they ended the season in the top 5. And there has to be a lot of credit there. So I'm wondering how close this series is going to be now, with BoomerGaming having leveled up a decent amount throughout the entire season. But the first few bans have already come in. It is going to be the Junkrat and the Hanzo banned away from potential Scrim Thursday and BoomerGaming. So just trying to get rid of those long-range DPSs. Obviously, Junkrat has a lot of control. And then Hanzo just has a lot of damage overall. The Dragon Arrow is super nice to start fights or even follow up on fights, but it's also just a very, very strong flat-out DPS. Potential Scrim Thursday, they're going to ban away the Vala, and BoomerGaming will ban away the Hogger. Now, the Vala, I think, especially makes sense just because it's a standard DPS. It's just really good, very versatile in terms of how you can play it. Has a few hard counters, but if the team is protecting the Vala, it is possible to play into those counters. It's a very blindable carry. Well, the first pick is going to be the Oreo for AoE rules on the side of Potential Scrim Thursday. Now, we've seen this team play many a time. They have so many different players on their roster on the side of Potential Scrim Thursday, but every single time they kind of play a different roster, and they also play different roles. And that's just kind of a testament to how experienced all of these players are. Put them on basically anything, and they'll be sure to not just show up, but they'll definitely perform. As BoomerGaming, they lock in their front line, so it's going to be Chronicler in the offlane on Blaze, and then Calavoth main tanking the Joanna. So pretty interesting that they did lock that in first for themselves. They haven't taken any healers, they haven't taken any DPSs, but maybe they do value those 2 picks. And Blaze and Joanna are 2 picks that are commonly banned away, so not too surprising to see those getting removed. As I totally just realized I completely forgot the predictions. Oh well, I can do a quick one. There we go. If it goes a bit into the game, it's fine. But, alright, so then we have the Dahaka and the Varian locked in for DH, Bob, and Jägermeister. This is most likely going to be a main tank Varian. Though I believe, I've seen a couple teams in main tank Dahaka, and I know DH Bob can play main tank, but I'd be surprised if that is the case. I do suspect it will be DH Bob in the offlane role this time. But the next 2 bans have already come through. It's going to be the Sylvanas banned away by BoomerGaming, and the Anduin banned by Potential Scrim Thursday. And the Anduin's just a very common ban. It's a very solid ban. Very good into basically every single situation. It's kind of a jack-of-all-trades healer. Can help with engage, can help with peel. Obviously can heal a ton. Lacks a little bit of damage compared to another more niche healer, something like the Kerosene. But, I mean, with Anduin, you get a solid healer. So, not surprised to see that removed. But another one of those healers is Rhaegar, which is locked in for E-Bagatron. E-Bagatron really likes that pick. I've seen him play it a lot. And Dope Monster going to be playing the Chromie. And I'm actually a little bit surprised to see Chromie get this far into the draft. Typically, it is banned away or locked in a fair bit earlier. But it's still going to be pretty solid here. And we have the Jaina and the Artanis locked in right now for Potential Scrim Thursday. Computex is going to be on the Jaina, and Shoepuff going to be on the Artanis. So I have seen a decent amount of 4-core Artanises, but for Garden of Terror, this could also be a 1-3-1. I mean, they have a triple front line already for Potential Scrim Thursday, but I am a little bit concerned about their DPS. Jaina's only just in the only backliner they have, but iFeed on the Falstad should be able to help mitigate the damage for BoomerGaming. But let's get into game number 1.
Battle begins shortly, heroes.
All right, and here we are. Map number 1 between Potential Scrim Thursday and BoomerGaming. And I apologize if I'm yawning a lot today, but it has been a very, very long week at work. But the important thing is we are here. We're in Garden of Terror, and we're going to have ourselves an amazing Heroes of the Storm game. And I'm sure that if anything can wake me up, it'll definitely be these 2 teams. Now, some interesting stuff that's already sticking out to me. It is going to be frequent flyer build coming out from iFeed. So it is going to be that bonus damage on the auto attacks. And I think that's really good into a triple frontline composition. The burst build doesn't deal quite as much damage to the tanks. It's less consistent, but with the auto attacks, you can just continuously attack and just get a ton of DPS through. And I believe later on, level 16 or 13, they're going to get the max HP burn as well. But now the Jet Propulsion, now the Condemn, actually landing on a 5. And now DH Bob taking a decent amount of damage. Just getting auto down, but not going to be in danger of going down quite yet. As I am still curious what these lane assignments are going to be. Now, I assume Jägermeister is going to be going with the taunt build, but we're not going to find out until level 4. But now Ify getting jumped upon by Jägermeister. As it does seem like it's going to be Shoepuff alone in the mid lane for now. They are just going to be using the Dragon's Breath, just trying to get in the way. Bagatron's going to be in the area as well, but they are rotating back and forth. So Potential Scrim Thursday, they are just sending 4 members together. And like I expected, the Dahaka is the one that's going to be left alone. And I think that makes the most sense. Even if you do have a lot of characters that in theory can offlane, you would definitely want the one that has a global Brush Stalker being able to join on the play whenever. And having someone that can kind of catch all those waves later on in the mid to late game, it's definitely going to make things a lot easier for the macro. But now Jump Propulsion almost lands onto DH Bob, but the drag is going to land. And now DH Bob actually getting a pretty solid trade back. But if that Jump Propulsion landed, that very well could have been a kill. But now has the well. But the Bruiser Camp already getting a massive push out into the top side. DH Bob, again, just tanking it up. And Dragon's Breath just going over top of everything, dealing quite a bit of damage over to that structure. But now the Bruiser Camp on the bot lane is still pushing as well, as Calavoth almost got swapped away by Shupuff, but it looks like was able to just stay in the safe area. And now iFeed and Calavoth together should be able to just clear this away, be nice, happy, and safe. One more Condemn, and they will be put into a pretty solid spot. And now Potential Scrim Thursday doing what we've seen them do many a time in many a previous game, and that's just invading on a very random timer. They have the wave, so they invade. That's all it is. Do they have an advantage in terms of level? No, they're actually behind a level. But either way, they're the ones that are going to be walking forward. They're going to be able to steal away that siege camp. And now Chronicler is going to be on the duty to just kind of clear that away. And the seed has also spawned closer to their side, closer to the side of Potential Scrim Thursday. But Calavoth is in the area, might be trying to interrupt, just trying to buy a little bit of time for the team. And maybe if the waves are better, they will decide to contest it. But as of right now, they haven't committed fully yet. And it looks like they will just back away. Calavoth was just trying to buy time. AoE Rules will be able to get that first seed in favor of BoomerGaming. Now, another thing I've noticed, it is the Protections of Aiur talent from Shupuff. Hasn't really been able to stack it quite yet. Only 9 stacks so far, but I'm assuming that these 9 stacked means 0.9%. I think that's how that works for Spectate. I'm not sure. But now the rest of BoomerGaming, they're going to start walking up, and now they're going to be stealing away the siege camp. But Potential Scrim Thursday, they're always ready for a fight, and Dope Monster going to get sent up into the wall and could be in a pretty bad spot, but will be able to back away. Pretty low on mana. E-Bagatron now in the middle of everything, and that's going to be first blood going to Potential Scrim Thursday, but they're still pushing forward. Shupuff just in the front line, autoing whoever they can. Calavoth gonna get stunned up into the wall. The taunt's gonna come through, and now the space swap not gonna come in, but that is a 2-0 trade for Potential Scrim Thursday. They're able to save their siege camp as well, and with the Brush Stalker, DH Bob even gonna be able to catch all of the waves from the bot lane, as iFeed, I believe, has also flown down here, but now the drag is gonna land, and iFeed actually taking a decent amount of damage there, but a lot of pressure right now. That's going to be the second seed going the way of Potential Scrim Thursday. They already have a big push happening over in the mid lane. They have the siege camp, and Jägermeister just kind of tanking up the cannon tower. One of them is going to go down. Similar thing happened on the top side. Chronicler trying to clear it away, but we'll definitely need some time, as Shupuff is also just trying to get a little bit of those stacks going. Already up to 50 now, so definitely in a much better spot. And I believe every kill just automatically gives 10 stacks. So that big team fight, getting that 2 for nothing, is definitely going to help increase the value of that Protectors of Aiur talent. But now with that being said, the next seed is going to be spawning, and BoomerGaming, they need to try and make sure they get this one. They are down about 3/4 of a level right now, but they're not down a talent yet. And yet, as I say that, Calavoth going to get jumped immediately in the mid lane, but will dodge away the Detainment Strike and will be fine. Still decently healthy as well, so with the Bagatron in the area, Calavoth should be able to just fight and contest normally on this seed. Assuming Potential Scrim Thursday even do want to fight this, but considering who it is, most likely they will try to do something. And right now they are hanging out in the area. However, the Bruiser Camp is about to respawn, so they're just going to get started on that immediately. Chronicler going to be pushing out the little seedlings, and it looks like they are just going to be giving it away on the side of Potential Scrim Thursday. So it is 2-1. They did buy a little bit of time on the side of BoomerGaming, and because of that, they will need to be even more careful on the next push. Level 10s are now available, and the Bruiser Camps are also up, so Potential Scrim Thursday could definitely look to steal. D-Bagatron going to dodge away the phase swap, as now they're sending in 4 members onto this Bruiser Camp, but there are 5 for BoomerGaming, so this is fightable. They definitely have the numbers advantage, and I would like to see them fight. And now they're looking, the face swap is already going to come through. Shupuff looking over to the back line. Bagatron starting to get zoned away, but will be in a good spot. They're able to get 1. They've already taken out the offlaner. Now they're looking for Jägermeister. Jägermeister starting to get low. Same with DH Bob. And DH Bob will get finished off. It's a 2-0 in favor of BoomerGaming. So that's a fight they desperately needed. Now they're going to have their level 10s as well. And there's going to be a couple cooldowns that were used during that team fight. So this is a very good opportunity for BoomerGaming to try and get that next seed. And considering where it's positioned, it's not in a very good spot. But now they're going to use the Blessed Shield. They're looking towards Jägermeister. They have the Dragon's Breath over top. The Protected is going to be there. But again, they're just body blocking. And with the Sandblast, Ancestral Healing is going to come through. E-Bagatron still getting focused down. Will get traded. And now Calavoth also getting run down by Computex. And that's going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of Potential Scrim Thursday. Computex and Shoopuf just able to deal so much damage during that fight. And because of that, might be the Garden Tears going the way of Potential Scrim Thursday. And yeah, it looks like that's just going to be coming through. iFeed was able to save this fort, but it looks like it was just going to be for that short little while, because now the Garden Tears are going to come in, and it's definitely going to be going down here. But now Chronicler and DH Bob, they are going to be matching over in the top side, but in the mid lane, it's going to be 3 versus 4 for now, as they do walk up and start trying to clear out this Garden Terror. Now, it is important to remember we do have a Chromie, so technically the level 13 talent is already up, as Blessed Shield is going to come through, going to land on it too. And now the Ice Block, the Crystal Age is going to come through. Computex going to be okay, as the, I forget what that laser's called, Purifier Beam, going to be coming through onto E-Bagatron once again, just kind of trying to zone away that healer. And now, again, 4 members strong in this mid lane for Potential Scrim Thursday. They are trying to clear away, and they're doing a pretty good job of it. But right now, they're top lane. They're going to lose it. They already have the Ice Lake, getting the drag as well, and Chronicler should go down here with a face-off as well. Bunker going to buy a little bit of time, and now Calavoth is here. They're actually bringing in the team. They have the Condemn on to 3. DH Bob going to get another drag, and now Calavoth will also follow. That's a 2-for-0 in favor of Potential Scrim Thursday, as they're able to just chain kills one after the other. And it's 6-3, and with that, now they have the pressure. They can come right back to this mid lane and take this forward as well. They've got on the top, they've got on the bot, and now this is where the map starts looking really scary for BoomerGaming. They're going to be in a pretty bad spot here, but they've already shown that maybe 1 or 2 team fights is all they need. But we'll see if they're able to get those fights. But now iFeed could be the next target. Going to barrel roll away to safety, as definitely the good call with Jägermeister and Shoopuf in the area would definitely not be great. But now the totem is going to be coming through. Brushstalker is coming on the way as well. Calavoth standing on the siege camp. They want to fight it back. But now Chronicler fighting with the AoE rules in the backline. Meanwhile, Zestro healing. The fight just on all sides, but the Blessed Shield goes wide because of the Crystal Aegis. And now the Gust going to push them all away, but it's actually repositioned the fight, potentially to their benefit. Now the Condemn lands on 3 as well, and Shoopuf is so low, but it's still surviving, consistently getting those shields, and they're going to get a 2-for-0. E-Bagatron is going to follow, and now the Water Elemental slowing iFeed, and that's more than enough for the kill. Shoopuf might follow due to the cannon towers, but that's going to be it. It's a 3-for-1 in favor of BoomerGaming. And now they're going to be trading just a little bit. They're going to be taking this entire bot lane wall, and they're looking for the keep as well. And with the death timers, with their positioning, I think it should be pretty safe. They also have the level 16, so the talent advantage definitely coming through for Potential Scrim Thursday. And now they will be able to take it for themselves. And now they'll be able to come in to go back and just collect their seeds. Now, they're still at 0 seeds out of 3, but this could be a good opportunity for them to start stacking it up again. I do believe that this next set of seeds, if they do manage to get the Garden Tears, that could be their opportunity to try and end the game. They've already gotten a massive advantage on the map. They've already taken down most of the structures, 4 out of the 6. And it could be a strong moment for them to look for the core. But now BoomerGaming, they're trying to clear away the Bruiser camp. And again, DH, Bob, and Shoopuf, just by showing themselves, BoomerGaming, they back away. They get a little bit scared. It was just a bait. There was only 1 or 2 of them. But now the Gust is going to come through. And now Shoopuf looking for the swap. And Shoopuf just standing onto the ground. They're not going to be able to take it. And because of that, now the team fight is going to be coming through the Purifier Beam on the backline. Calavoth, they're all inside the bunker, just trying to survive as long as they can. But how long is long enough? It is 5v5. No one's gone down yet. But as I say that, Calavoth going to be the target. And it's a 1-for-0 and a stolen camp in favor of Potential Scrim Thursday once again, and they've already taken down the bot lane. Now they can start looking to take away this top lane. The wall is already going to be getting taken down quite low. We'll be able to finish it off no problem. 189 stacks on Protectors of Year, 25 on Frequent Flyer, by the way, for anyone who cares about those infinite stacks. And now they're on to the keep as well, and they don't look like they're planning on slowing down or stopping. However, their Bruiser camp is starting to get quite low. Do they have enough DPS to finish it off before then? Or are they just confident enough to tank it up, even in front of 3 members? And it does look like that's the case. They have the banner as well, so pretty free push in, and Potential Scrim Thursday have the second keep. And now they're going to go back and take the second of 3 seeds. And I was talking about it before, even before they finished off that top lane, that the 3rd seed could be a danger, that the Garden Tears could be a big opportunity for Potential Scrim Thursday to end the game. And right now, it's definitely seeming more and more likely now that there's 2 keeps gone. They still have all of their structures, by the way. Their walls have taken a little bit of damage. Their mid wall is pretty healthy, but other than that, like, all their cores are still almost max HP. It's going to be very difficult for BoomerGaming to try and claw back into this game. It is possible, and all they need is one big team fight, one pickoff, and this could be where it starts. They're looking towards Jägermeister, but already Potential Scrim Thursday is here. Blessed Shield has already been used. Purifier Beam is going to be on top of it. On top of the bunker now, Shoot Buff is in the front line, unstoppable, just dealing as much damage as possible to the back line. iFeed just kiting backwards, but the damage just isn't there. Shoot Buff still at half HP. Face Swap gonna find Chronicler into the drag, into the taunt, and Chronicler is gonna be the first to go down. Crystal Age is coming through from AoE rules, and the heals are so strong as well. AoE rules just keeping that front line alive, and the damage just cannot match. And they found iFeed, and now Calavoth in the middle of everyone does have the gate to be able to get back, but that's all that there is. It is still going to be that 2-for-0, and now they're going to continue pushing up into this mid lane. They have the time trap as well. Dope Monster can try and buy a little bit of time with it, but it's going to be difficult, and this mid lane keeps already just getting jumped upon. A lot of damage already being dealt, but now they do have that next Blessed Shield if they do want to use it. But 3v5, it's going to be difficult. And now the swap almost lands on a Dope Monster. Very, very good stasis timing by a Dope Monster. But I don't know how much that's going to do for the game, because right now, Potential Scrim Thursday, they want to try and end the game. They're looking for it. They've already damaged onto the core. Level 20s are about to come online for them, but they're not up yet. And that's something that BoomerGaming can look to exploit. Level 20s are now going to be available. And now they're just fighting the Gus, going to bring Shoot Buff away. Computex starting to get low, but so is the core. 50% Detainment Strike lands on 2, and they're able to take down Computex, but iFeed goes down, and so does the core, and Potential Scrim win game number 1. And again, Potential Scrim Thursday just showing how aggressive they can be. And we've seen this so many times in the past where they just find a random timing, they go and start invading on the jungle camps, and they're just able to snowball it from there. As long as they can start one fight that's at least on an even favor, or even slightly in their favor, because it's on their choice, like they decide where to fight, they can just snowball whenever, wherever, and that's what makes this team so dangerous to play into. But now it is a best of 5. BoomerGaming can still definitely make it back, but we're going to go to a short break, and when we are back, it will be game number 2, so don't go anywhere. And we're getting started immediately with the map number 2 between Boomer Gaming and potential Scrim Thursday. We're going to be going to Battlefield of Eternity, and we're talking before about how teamfight maps are usually very good for potential Scrim Thursday. They love team fighting, so it's going to be a solid map for them because as far as fighting maps go, this is probably the biggest one. And now I should start the prediction. That's an idea. But yeah, it is going to be Vala banned away first by Boomer Gaming. And this time they do have first pick for themselves. So that is pretty interesting. It is going to be the first ban as well. So Boomer Gaming decided they don't want the Vala themselves either. And they don't want to let potential Scrim Thursday potentially ban it away themselves. It is going to be the Joanna ban coming out next for potential Scrim Thursday. And the Oriole. They're not going to let AoE rules play that again. And again, I think a big issue in that last game for Boomer Gaming is that they just straight up didn't have the damage to deal with it. To deal with potential Scrim Thursday. Once that level 16 healing well talent comes through for the Oriole, it's so difficult to fight into that triple frontline composition. They have so much armor, they have so much shield. The healing just gets so much more value because of that. For example, if it heals 400, the effective HP that gives is going to be like 600 or 700, and just so on and so forth, just constantly stacking into each other. Because of the extra HP, they have more time to get the cooldowns back, more time to fill up the well, just even more heals coming out from AoE rules. But I'm potential Scrim Thursday. They've just played fantastically as a team. And now Boomer Gaming, their first pick is going to be the Hanzo for iFeed. As potential Scrim Thursday going to lock in the Hogger for Shoepuff and the Lee Mink for DH Bob. So Shoepuff going to be playing in the off lane this time, and DH Bob going to be playing that mage role, unless they do swap later on again. But it is interesting because last game, both the Hanzo and the Hogger were banned away in that first phase, but this time around it's going to be the Oriole and the Joanna getting banned away instead. And Muradin for Calavoth and Anduin for Ebagatron. So again, pretty standard combo here. The Light Bomb with the Dwarf Toss coming out from the Anduin and Muradin. It's a pretty simple engage, but it's a very effective one because it's a very low cooldown jump. So Muradin can kind of use it whenever. And if you don't want to use the Light Bomb, you don't really have to. There's a lot of different opportunities for Boomer Gaming there. And at the same time, Muradin's really good at skirmishing and chasing down those really slippery heroes like the Lee Ming. But now the next two bans are going to be the Genji from potential Scrim Thursday and the Tyrande from Boomer Gaming. So the Genji, I think, makes a lot of sense as a ban because, again, we're just looking at things that can take down Lee Ming, and Genji's definitely one of them. Can just absolutely follow those teleports. Is so fast, is so obnoxious. But I digress because we already have our next two picks. Diablo for Jägermeister and Tychus for Compute X. Pretty smart pick as well. Obviously, Diablo is just very solid tank, but Tychus, really good counter to the Diablo and also good counter to Muradin. So by picking that Tychus, not only do they get it themselves into the Muradin, they also prevent Boomer Gaming from locking it in to deal with this Diablo. And typically you also could see the Garrosh locked in, but with Muradin already being the tank, there just wouldn't make a lot of sense to also add the Garrosh. But Boomer Gaming, for the last two picks, are going to take the Blaze for Chronicler and the Greymane for Dope Monster. So Greymane's going to be their main racing hero right now for Boomer Gaming. That's going to be the vast majority of their DPS onto these Immortals. I believe it should be pretty even. I think Lee Ming and Greymane deal about the same damage, maybe Greymane a little bit more. Same with Tychus and Hanzo. So it's really going to come down to just the DPS, and Lily locked in for AoE rules. That's an interesting one. But I'm looking over at the team composition, and it does make a lot of sense because most of the damage is going to be coming out of this Greymane. Hanzo's going to be just dealing a little bit over the top, but Greymane is the one that's really going to be diving in, and that guaranteed blind for the Lily could actually be really good this game. Still not a pick we see often, but definitely going to be interesting to see it locked in for potential Scrim Thursday as we head into game number 2. All right, and here we are. Map number 2, Battlefield of Eternity. As I forgot to turn off my music. I was wondering what was that beat in the background. But again, pretty interesting team composition coming out of Potential Scrim Thursday. Now, most of their team comp does make a ton of sense, but it's really just this one pick, the Lily for AoE rules. It's not a pick we see often. I even think this is my first time casting it in the NGS. So this is something that is very, very different and very, very new.
3, 2, 1.
But yeah, I think I see the logic in this specific game. For those of you who don't know Lily, just because you don't really see her pick too often, the guaranteed blind, I think that's the play for it. I assume we were going to be able to see a lot of the talents coming through for it. And I believe it's the blinding wind. So I do suspect to see some of those coming through later from AoE rules. But now they have the Stormbolt on Jägermeister, and Jägermeister already taken down to around a 3rd HP. But one issue with Lily and why we don't see her picked super often is just because you can't select who you're healing. It's just going to heal whoever is lowest. But in the meanwhile, over in the top lane, DH Bob just being the artillery mage, just dealing as much damage to these structures as possible. And now DH Bob getting zoned away, but already one of the walls is gone. The cannon tower's already going to be taken down to like no HP. DH Bob just using the entire mana bar for this. And now Shupov going to get stunned up by the jet propulsion. Shupov starting at really low. No hog wall available, but staggering blow is there. The level up just in time. Actually going to keep Shupov alive. That was a really, really good timing for the level. As the 3rd player from BoomerGaming does roam up to the top lane, Calavoth looking for that kill bow. It's just slightly too late. But because of this, it does open up the opportunity to start the siege camp over in the bottom lane. The Chastise is going to land. So Dope Monster is going to be able to get a little bit of stacks over on those scattering arrows and a little bit of poke over top. Calavoth is roaming down, and if they're able to do a full fight, I do think that BoomerGaming could come out on top. And Calavoth is going to be here before it does go down, but can they fight over this? Calavoth not going to be there in time, so the camp is already going to be coming through in favor of Potential Scrim Thursday. And now they're aiming back for the DPS. They have the Chastise onto the Tychus, and Computex gonna go down. And that's a big first blood going over to BoomerGaming. However, the top lane is really looking not great right now for BoomerGaming. Potential Scrim Thursday, DH Bob's just consistently been throwing auto after auto at just all of the Qs, the Arcane Bolt, or the Magic Missiles, the Arcane Bolts, just everything onto these walls, onto these forts. And they already have a massive structural advantage there in the top lane. But now BoomerGaming, they're going to come back. They're going to finish off their Bruiser camp. And it looks like Potential Scrim Thursday are almost done with theirs as well. So both sides should be ready to contest onto this Immortal soon. Now, IFE just going to be waiting a little bit in order to turn that in. And if anyone's ever wondering why you do this, it's just so that the timing of it is more inconvenient for the team. Because if they do it too early, you can clear it away and then come back to contest. Onto the Immortals. Now the Chastise is going to land. Jägermeister going to get taken down pretty low. Stormbolt lands as well. And Jägermeister taking a lot of poke, but over on the top side, Chronicler and iFeed, we're in a pretty dangerous spot as well. The Bruiser camp is going to get cleared away by Shupov. And now, Potential Scrim Thursday, they're already going to be on top of the Immortals. Now there is going to be iFeed and Calavoth and Dope Monster. All of them just going to be transitioning back and forth. And one thing I haven't mentioned, it is perfect storm for Calavoth. So it is that Stormbolt build. But now the fight could be breaking through. Calavoth gets pushed further and further back. But because of that, they're not going to be DPSing onto these Immortals. And it is halftime. It is a slight lead for Potential Scrim Thursday, but it is close. And actually, with the missiles, DH Bob going to be able to get that kill on a Calavoth. And that's a massive pickoff to get. And because of that, that should secure them the Immortal. Without their main tank, they just cannot walk up. They are looking towards Chronicler, though. Jägermeister going to have the overpower as well. AoE rules is in the area, but Jet Propulsion going to buy enough space. And there's still going to be these Impalers pushing out in the top side. 8k shield still going to be remaining on the Immortal Potential Scrim Thursday. Now they're going to push it into this bottom side. And again, we typically talk about this whenever we are on Battlefield of Eternity. If you're able to take out the wall, that's already considered a pretty good push. But Potential Scrim Thursday, they're usually not ones to settle They've already taken out the wall on the top side. The Chastise is going to land on the Jägermeister, but it's not going to amount to too much. And now they're going to be able to just take more and more. The wall's already gone. The shield's not even broken. And now they're looking towards Calivoth. Going to get stunned up, but the Dwarf Toss is going to get Calivoth back to safety and will tap on the wall at the same time. Now, the Immortal is going to be in melee form. Calivoth still trying to walk up. Still could be looking for a play. The Blinding Wind is going to be coming through. Calivoth, again, just getting consistently poked down by DH Bob. And look how low this fort is already. Going to be at about 5% HP, but it's not gone. And that's going to be a pretty good thing for BoomerGaming. They're not going to be missing out on that passive XP as now Teamfight starting to break through. Calivoth needs to jump away, but iFeed could be the next target. Jägermeister has the Shadow Charge, but Leap of Faith is going to be used by Bagatron, but that's still a major cooldown that's not going to be available for the Siege Camp fight, assuming they do want to contest it. But they do have the stun, they do have the Stormbolt as well. But with the Spell Armor, Jägermeister's just so tanky right now. And now the Shadow Charge, Calivoth will be able to just jump over the wall. And the Chastise will land onto 2. We call it for now, but DH Bob gonna start just DPSing over the wall, just getting whatever damage onto this structure, and should be able to finish it off with the next couple casts. Arcane Orb gonna land as well, and it's 1% HP, and the final grenade from Computex going to be able to finish it off. So now the pressure is on once again. Potential Scrim Thursday. They're just going to consistently push into the bot side. And now they can start roaming away and look for this top side where Chronicle and Shoopov, they're already trading. But Calivoth is going to be here first. Bagatron is there as well. But so is the rest of Potential Scrim Thursday. Chastise does land on it too. And they do land the blind. But Chronicler now in the middle of everyone. Level 10's not up yet for anyone. And the Fire Stomp is going to deal a little bit of damage. Going to try and zone them both away as Shoopov gets taken down decently low. But again, they just don't have enough damage to get that extra little bit of finish that they do need. iFeed was clearing out the bot lane, just trying to catch some soak for them because they know the Immortals are spawning soon. A Potential Scrim Thursday, they are very close to that level 10, and they're also just happy to pressure out in this top side as well. Bagatron forced to tank a little bit of damage just to prevent it from going onto the fort. And now with that, Jägermeister and AoE rules, they're going to be defending onto it, while Computex and DH Bob are going to be just hitting onto that Immortal. And I don't suspect BoomerGaming will try to contest this. Maybe they can try and get level 10s before they go in, but right now there's no waves to catch. The waves are all kind of pushed in except for the bot lane, but they don't really have good priority for it to be able to walk into it. And now we're already about to approach halftime as DH Bob with one more set of magic missiles, and it is going to be the halftime. But Potential Scrim Thursday, they're, again, looking for that Bruiser Camp. Doesn't look like they want to start it, though. And now BoomerGaming will be starting it up themselves. Level 10's now going to be online. And with the Cursed Bullet, maybe they'll have enough damage now. But it seems like it's going to be a little bit too late already because the fort, or the Immortal, is gone. But now they have the Light Bomb into the backline. They managed to find 2. Jägermeister is still alive at 600 HP, but will go down. Now they do get the Immortal, but it is going to be a kill going the way of BoomerGaming. And maybe that'll make their defense a lot easier. But now the Hogwild going to be coming through as well. And it looks like they want to try getting something on the return. It is 4v5, but Potential Scrim Thursday, they're the ones that are pushing forward. And this is a full shield Immortal. And they're bringing so many members, 3 members top. But they're setting DH, Bob, and Shoopov to the bot lane. Just going to be using the fact that they have this Immortal for the extra push. As the Apocalypse is going to come through. Jägermeister looking for the play forward. And now they're going to have the 1,000 Jugs coming through from AoE rules. But it will be able to keep them alive. But most importantly, they're not hitting onto the Immortal because of this fight. Now they have the blind onto 2 as well. iFeed's still just trying to deal as much damage to everyone over in this back line. But the Immortal's still pretty healthy. 3/4 HP, no more shield. And it's getting started onto this wall. Level 10s are up for both sides, like we've already mentioned. And the Immortal will get taken down with just 1.5 cannon towers taken over in the top side. But look at the damage that DH, Bob, and Shoopov have been able to accomplish over in the bot lane. They weren't able to damage the keep at all, but they finished off the entire wall. And now they're going to go back a little bit. They're going to take down the siege camp for themselves as BoomerGaming going to take their own bruiser camp. And this is the struggle with playing against a team like Potential Scrim Thursday. They do not hesitate with their calls. They do not hesitate with their plays. And they're usually really smart when it comes to them. But now they have a lot of stuns landing over on a Shoopov and will be able to get the damage. The Light Bomb damage actually enough to get the kill there. And now they're looking for more Jägermeister, starting to get taken low to half HP. And now they found AoE rules as well. And this could be the target. And they're able to take down Lily. Calivoth still looking for more, but the Shadow Charge is going to land from Jägermeister as the H-Bob getting poked down a little bit by Dope Monster. But that will be it. So it's just going to be that 2-for-0. I say just, but that's really big for BoomerGaming. And now they can start pushing a little bit over in this top side. They have the Bruiser Camp as the Disintegrate coming out from DH-Bob, trying to clear away this Bruiser Camp. It will deal a little bit of damage to it, but it won't be able to finish it off. What BoomerGaming can do right now, though, is they can go back up top and take away the Siege Camp. They've tied up the levels, and now the Hortipult coming out from Shootbuff. Calivoth kind of stuck in the middle of everyone else, though. Needs to try and jump away. The Dwarf Toss should be back up soon, but Leap of Faith gonna be up first, and Ivy looking for Shootbuff, and they will be able to take down Shootbuff first. And with the Chastise, they'll be able to prevent any kind of follow-up. So again, BoomerGaming getting the kill that they need just as the Immortal spawns. And that's the big deal this time around. Usually they had those leads before, but now Avery Rule's going to get stunned up by the Dragon Arrow. They're still looking for it, but the Apocalypse Eye Feed going to get burst down from it. Just DH Bob dealing so much damage over the top of it. And now 1000 Jags is going to be coming through from Avery Rule's. Calivoth starting to get pretty low. Disintegrate coming out over top. Not going to be able to finish off the kill. And the Stormbolt going to prevent the chase, at least for now. But DH Bob could be looking over the wall, not going to be able to find it. And again, potential Scrim Thursday. Always find a way back, even when they are put behind. And because of that, they're going to start DPSing onto this Immortal. The race is going to begin. But it looks like BoomerGaming, they want to get right back into this fight. They want to continue pressing forward. But they're not able to find the angle of engage yet. Dragon Arrow is going to be back up in 20 seconds. Avatar going to be up in about 15. So once they get those cooldowns, maybe they could look to fight. But Calivoth with the Light Bomb going to be able to find Shootbuff immediately. But the Cleanse is there, saving the Dragon Arrow. And Calivoth just gets burst down immediately. And now Chronicler going to be the next target. The bunker is going to be coming through, but needs to get away from it immediately. And now Hortipult over into the backline. They found E-Bagatron and should be going down, but the Dragon Arrow going to buy enough space. E-Bagatron will survive, but the Immortal will not, as Potential Scrim Thursday get the third one in a row. And now I believe that should be going top lane, and there's not too much wall remaining there. So Potential Scrim Thursday, they could look to start pressuring onto this keep. They already have DH Bob, who just deals so much damage to these structures. We see how fast they can take it, and now the Apocalypse is going to come through. They have the stun on the Eye Feed. They have the blind, and the Disintegrate from DH Bob over top will get them that extra kill. And now the Disintegrate just going to get used for this mid lane wall, as DH Bob is going to be in charge of clearing that away. But now Jägermeister just trading with Calivoth a little bit. And the Odin has been popped as well by Compute X, by the way. So this is going to be a very major push. Level 16 talent advantage. As now Calivoth, again, just trying to throw those Stormbolts. It does deal a lot of damage to the Immortals right now, but unfortunately, it's not going to be enough if Calivoth cannot approach the Immortal. And the keep's already going to be gone, and the shield is still available, much less the rest of the Immortal. And now they could look for the play. Calivoth gonna get stunned up with the Disintegrate going out over top. Curse Bullet, but now they have the Light Bomb as well, and they're gonna be able to stun on it too, but the healing from the 1000 Jugs is just so high, and Jägermeister is gonna be okay. The Immortal is still pushing in. No one's gone down yet, and now they have DH Bob just dealing damage over top, and those magic missiles are just so strong. Calivoth gonna get set up into the wall, and again, another Disintegrate over top. E-Bagatron gonna go down. Same with the Immortal and Potential Scrim Thursday. They're up 2-0. And again, another massive win for them. But this time around, I think BoomerGaming put up a much stronger fight. They were able to get a lot of kills for themselves. They were able to get a lot of pickoffs. They were kind of showing where the cracks in Potential Scrim Thursday's armor lie. But unfortunately for them, Potential Scrim Thursday, they've just been such a dominant team, especially in the last couple weeks. It's just been so strong, so difficult to play with. And they're stepping up here again today. Just consistent fighting going on for them, and they're able to control the macro. They're able to control all the bosses, the objectives. It's going to be a very, very difficult time for BoomerGaming to try and come back here, but maybe they can bring it back. They would have to do a reverse sweep because, again, we're not done here. It's still a best of 5, so we'll have game number 3, after the break. All right, and we are in map number 3 between Potential Scrim Thursday and Boomer Gaming. So this time we are going to be going over to Dragon Shire for our third map. And sorry, give me a moment here. Boom, boom. Let's get those predictions running. I believe last time I was actually done in time, but I don't know. I like starting it early. But for D-Shire, already some interesting bans to start with. Boomer Gaming going to ban away the Vikings, because I don't think anyone likes dealing with the Vikings, especially on this map. There's so much value for them. And then we have the Junkrat getting banned by Potential Scrim Thursday once again. So far, they haven't really changed their bans. It's been pretty consistent, as Boomer Gaming going to ban away the Hogger. So they did ban in game number 1. They did allow Shoopuf to play it in game number 2, but obviously it did a little bit too much, so they're going to ban away in game 3. And now Zagara going to be the final ban for potential Scrim Thursday, and BoomerGaming going to lock in the Dahaka for themselves. Chronicler going to be playing that in the offlane. And Joanna going to ban, Joanna not going to ban, going to be locked in for Jägermeister. So it should be a pretty fun pick here, as Hanzo going to get locked in for Compute X.
Redemption.
So this time they're not going to be giving away the Hanzo over to Dope Monster. I did mistakenly say it was iFeed last game. I did realize they swapped until like halfway through the game. That's the issue with me. Sometimes I just focus a little bit too much in the draft and then forget to pay attention to the game. But either way, it is a pretty solid draft so far for Potential Scrim Thursday. Haven't really shown anything. Hanzo's a good pick. Joanna's a good pick, but they can still kind of veer away into any kind of composition that they would like. As we see Sylvanas and Anduin locked in for BoomerGaming. Dope Monster going to be on the Sylvanas, and Begatron going to be on the Anduin. And the Anduin's going to be... The Anduin was pretty good for BoomerGaming last game. I think there was a lot of instances where they managed to get a pick off because of the lockdown from the Chastise and from the Light Bomb. No other healer would be able to bring that. And then at the same time, that Leap of Faith was able to save them, I think, 2 or 3 times in that game. They still lost, but it definitely made the game a lot closer. So it makes a lot of sense why Potential Scrim Thursday banned that away in game number 1. But now Genji is going to be the 3rd ban for Potential Scrim Thursday, so they're going to be keeping that one. And again, on Dragonshire, it does make a lot of sense. It is one of those maps where if you're able to get between the lanes quicker, you can get a lot of value. So... just in general, Genji is just a solid ban on Dragonshire. And I also know BoomerGaming, iFeed specifically, loves playing it, so good ban. And Vala going to be the final one from BoomerGaming. We already talked Vala to death, I believe. She's been in the meta for so long, and I think that's just because of the kit. That vault just really opens up a lot of options in terms of playability. And then you can go auto attack build, you can go multi-shot, you can go Hungering Arrow. So just too versatile a hero to not be meta, unless they continue nerfing damage. But what has gone through is the Oriole once again for AoE rules. Did perform incredibly well in game number 1, and now they're going to throw the Diva in for Shoepuff. And now the final 2 picks going to be the Maya for iFeed and the Blaze for Calavoth. Now, I do like that they pick Maiev. I think this is going to give them a little bit of that playmaking opportunity. It's going to give them a couple angles that they can try playing into. And having an extra playmaker is always good, but I also just realized this isn't an offlane Blaze. This is a main tank Blaze. I have not seen that in a while, not since Blaze got a couple nerfs. I mean, it's always able to play tank. The jet propulsion's always been a solid engage. The oil slick's just really good at slowing things down. And we do see the final pick going to be the Lunara for DH Bob. I think this is probably the most normal Potential Scrim Thursday draft I've seen in the past couple times I've cast them. Diva and Lunara kind of a little bit strange, but they're not that out of the meta. But main tank Blaze is very interesting for Calavoth. I'm super excited to see if they have some kind of strategy with it, but we'll find out in game number 3.
Prepare for combat.
All right, and here we are. We are in the 3rd and potentially final game between Potential Scrim Thursday and BoomerGaming. If Potential Scrim Thursday win this, they are going to be headed straight into the semifinals for the Heroic Division. But BoomerGaming, if they want to keep their season alive, if they don't want to get eliminated, they need to get 3 in a row. They need to do a reverse sweep on Potential Scrim Thursday. It's definitely a tall ask, definitely going to be a not easy path, but they could still do it. And now, both teams going to start grouping over into the mid lane, and it looks like it's a potential 1-3-1 coming out of BoomerGaming. Now, maybe they will group up with Calavoth later on, but right now, that is what it looks like. Now, we've seen some interesting macro decisions on this map before. We've seen the anchor strat, which is what BoomerGaming seem to be doing. Typically, it's with the Tyrael or the Arthas, but Blaze could do it as well. And now with that, Kelavoth and Chronicler going to be able to get the early push. As now Shoopuf and Ifeed going to be dealing damage over to DH Bob, taking down half the HP. That's going to be a pretty big start for BoomerGaming, at least in terms of damage. DH Bob going to be forced to well immediately. Considering their healers down in the bot lane. And now Kelavoth just going to be holding on to this. So it does look like that's the strat. 1-3-1 for BoomerGaming. Now I'm wondering what that's going to change once all of these camps are online. This is going to be pretty difficult for them. And now they're going to clear everything away right now. They're going to let Ify collect the wave, and the rest of them are going to get started on the Bruiser camp. However, in the meanwhile, their own siege camp is getting attacked. Kelavoth is going to be in the area, going to get stunned up into the wall, and is trying to get it with jet propulsion. They've gone a little bit too far, but with the stim pack, with the oil slick, will be able to get away. And with that, BoomerGaming will be able to steal away the siege camp. And now over in the top side, Chronicler and Dope Monster, they're going to start going back and forth. They're going to get the push, and they're sending in 4 members. And it looks like they want to take down this wall immediately. They're already going to have a pretty solid start here. The Black Arrow's dealing so much for them. And now the Bruiser camp is going to join in as well. They've already taken out most of the wall. They should be able to finish it off in its entirety. So really solid macro movements right now. And now they have the Chastise on to Truepuff, able to get the Emerald Bind back. And now it's Baby Diva, but they don't have any more cooldowns to be able to get that final little pick off that they do need. But what they can do is, without the mech, Shoopuf cannot zone them away completely. We'll be able to deal a little bit of damage back and forth, but that's still going to be about a third of that fort going down in favor of BoomerGaming. Now Chronicler's still trading in the mid lane with Jägermeister, as Kelavoth holding the bot lane on this Blaze. So very solid macro so far. They haven't lost too much for that trade on the top side. And now they're looking on a Shoopuf again. But now it's going to be the self-destruct. Won't be able to find anyone, but at the very least, not going to constitute a half death. As now Shoopuf getting pretty low as well. Will be getting back into mech. And now Ifeed could be the target. And they don't have the heals. The Megatron will come out in time with the flash heal. But the drag does land on DH Bob. Shoopuf not going to be pulled away with the Emerald Bind. But now the push is coming out in the bot side. Kelavoth starting to get low, I believe, does not have the tap either. So this will be a difficult position for BoomerGaming. They need to send someone there, and Ify did just reset. Could be down there pretty shortly. But they have the siege camp pushing at the same time. And now they're going to take out most of this fort. So now starting to come out on top with the structural damage. And now Dope Monster and E-Bagatron, they're holding their mid lane. Both shrines are currently in favor of potential Scrim Thursday. So if they're able to take the Dragon Knight, they can definitely get a lot of value there. But now the fight's coming out in the bot lane. Chronicler looking for AoE rules. Not going to be able to land the drag, though. It is going to get sidestepped. But now DH Bob just threatening to open up onto the Dragon Knight, and Dope Monster forced to get zoned away, and Shoopuf should be able to lock that in. So the first Dragon Knight going to go the way of potential Scrim Thursday. They've already taken down the bot lane fort, and now they're going to be looking for more. Dope Monster could be looking for an angle, not able to find one. But the Dragon Knight actually disappeared and has walked over to the top side. And we'll start pushing out here. Now, the rest of BoomerGaming, they're going to send 3 members here anyway. E-Bagatron, Ifeed, and Dope Monster to push away Shoopuf. But now Jägermeister, Computex, and AoE rules. They're going to be here in the bot lane. 3v1 into Kelavoth. This is how they got the bot lane fourth to begin with. And now they're going to start going for the wall themselves. But right now, I think BoomerGaming is just happy that they're able to zone away the Dragon Knight for now. Is now over in the mid lane. Chronicler could be looking for DH Bob. Megatron is in the area, but the drag is not going to be coming out yet. But now Megatron looking for the Chastise, but DH Bob able to sidestep it. But now the push, once again, the wave is now here, and they're dealing a lot of damage over to Kelavoth. But if Kelavoth is taking the damage instead of the structures, it's not the worst. But now Computex gonna walk right into the dragon, into the Chastise. Computex is gonna be able to survive, though. The jet propulsion is able to find AoE rules, but that's it. And AoE rules just keeping them all alive. So they're going to be able to walk back to Chastise. The second one not going to land. But now they have AoE rules, jet propulsion as well. And the healing is coming out, but it's not going to be enough. And it's going to be another kill going over to BoomerGaming. That's actually first blood at 5.5 minutes. But now Shoopuf again has the push in the top side. Chronicler looking for the drag, not going to be able to find it. Shoopuf takes another hit from the fort. But overall, they didn't lose too much of their structures with that Dragon Knight, but they're definitely starting to fall behind. About half a level back. Potential Scrim Thursday already has the level 10s. As BoomerGaming still looking to get theirs. Now, with Ivy taking that siege camp, they will finally have it. And they will have their own siege camp this time as well. Last time it did get stolen. And the Bruiser camp will also get finished off. But now the push coming through from DH Bob and Shoopuf. It is just Bagatron here for the defense. But it looks like they're not looking to defend. They're looking to trade. Right now they're aiming straight for that top lane push. And Ivy is here with the black arrows. Will be able to turn off that fort. And now Shoopuf trying to get in the way. Just trying to tank up as much of that damage. And the bunny hop as well. You gotta be able to zone them away. And now DH Bob over top. Gotta be able to take down Ivy. The heal's just not there in time. Now the containment disc did buy a decent amount of time, but unfortunately not enough. And again, with just 2 members, Potential Scrim Thursday, they're able to deal with 4. And now over in the bot lane, they're going to continue their push. They have the siege camp, they have the bruiser camp, and they have the cannon pushing in. The wall's already going to be gone. Dragon Arrow actually got shot to the top side, did go wide. And now they're going to be hitting onto this fort. iFeed has respawned and is going to be here as well. But Chronicler starting to get low. They have the Condemn as well. Could look for more. Dope Monster is going to be coming in from the back line as well. But it's such a difficult angle. But they are going to be looking for it. They have Fallen Sword. But it's not going to be able to find enough. Megatron now in the middle of everyone. But again, the angle is just not there. And now Calavoth is getting a run down. Leap Strike from DH Bob. A couple more autos for the dot. But Calavoth might be able to just out-regen this. And with a jet propulsion, will be able to get back just in time. I think might have been safe anyway. But definitely going to be big to be able to survive there. But now the mid lane is still under control from Potential Scrim Thursday. Chronicler able to buy a little bit of time before that Dragon Knight. But the rest of Potential Scrim Thursday is on the way. They have 4 members. Make that 5 coming on to the minimap. And Chronicler is going to be the one in danger. Leap Strike gonna get dodged away with the stasis. Another drag is going to land onto Shoopuf as Ivy getting jumped in the backline as well. And now the bunny hop onto Ivy. The healing is there. Jet propulsion gonna land on a few members. Same with the self-destruct though. Megatron not going to be able to finish off the Diva. And now Calavoth took a lot of damage. Was not able to get into the bunker before the self-destruct went off. But again, this is going to be another 2-0 for Potential Scrim Thursday. And now they're going to get started on this top lane fort. They're going to be able to finish it off for themselves. And now they're going to start shoving in this mid lane. They got the Dragon Knight as well. This is the final fort that is still left alive, and Megatron able to dodge away the Detainment Strike. Very crucial dodge. Would have definitely gone down had that landed. But now the Dragon Knight has already managed to finish off the mid lane fort, and now it's going to be running over to the bot lane. This Computex taking a lot of damage. Jet Propulsion narrowly misses. And now they are going to get started on this keep. And with this Dragon Knight as healthy as it is, they should be able to just completely tank it up and just finish it off that way. But now DH Bob, they're looking to fight on the backline of it. They have the Light Bomb, but again, the Crystal Aegis is going to be there. But now DH Bob getting stunned up, but with the Unstoppable, with the Leap Strike, going to be able to just jump away. As now Containment Disc will land on a Shoopuf, and a Wailing Arrow as well. But in the meanwhile, they're able to get a kill on one, and Calavoth might follow. The Dragon Knight just needs a little bit more damage, but not going to be able to find it quite yet. And is going to look to punt away Calavoth, but Jägermeister not going to be able to find the angle. But now DH Bob is underneath the core. Jägermeister starting to tank a lot of different things, both the keep and the core. But at Scrim Thursday, they look like they're still here, and they look like they're looking to end the game now, as DH Bob is a little bit low, but Dope Monster not able to find the angle. So they're not going to go for the core yet. But they did get the bot lane keep. I believe that's all they got. They didn't get too much damage done in the mid lane. But now, again, I keep saying the name Potential Scrim Thursday, but this game really has been about them. They've been the ones that have had the first move. They've been the ones that are taking that first initiative on almost every single play. BoomerGaming has definitely tried to do a couple moves. They definitely had a couple of interesting ideas, but Potential Scrim Thursday just plays so fast. It's hard to keep up with them. And now level 16 talents are available for them. The drag is going to go wide. And now the Falling Sword going to find Bagatron. But they're looking for the backline as well. The Condemn lands on 4. Jägermeister's trying to get low. And now they have the Isolate onto Shoopuf. But Shoopuf is still quite healthy. and will be able to back away. Neither side going to be going down in that fight, as the healing is going to be coming out from AoE rules now. Now they do have the double siege camp pushing in the bot side, but without a keep, it's actually a little bit safer because they have a lot more time to get back to it. They have a lot more time to clear it out, and they don't need to worry about getting flanked here. This is still a safe area for the side of BoomerGaming. They will be able to clear this away. They didn't take much damage over in the mid lane. They did take a little bit, but really nothing to write home about. And now potential Scrim Thursday, they're going to take this bruiser camp here in the bot lane, and now they're going to start roaming up again. The shrines are going to activate in about 12 seconds. It's now Megatron going to land the Chastise once again onto Jägermeister. But it seems like potential Scrim Thursday, for the most part, they're just going to leave Computex over in the bot side. Shoepuff should be good in the top side right now. Chronicler is on the way, but it would be a very difficult fight for Chronicler because potential Scrim Thursday will definitely be able to rotate up before BoomerGaming can. And now they are going to be losing out on this mid lane wall, but now Jägermeister getting targeted. They have the light bomb as well. They're found Jägermeister, but it is that main tank, and the Fallen Sword going to be used somewhat aggressively, but the Chastise is going to land. Crystal Aegis, though, with the jet propulsion. They're trying to DPS onto Jägermeister, just needs a little bit more damage, but the Iron Skin is going to be able to come out. And now DH Bob just DPSing over top that entire time. As BoomerGaming, they just can't get a break. They found an angle. They found something they could just freely hit on, but the healing from AoE rules and the Iron Skin is just too strong. And now the Dragonite is going to get taken by Jägermeister themselves. And now the push is coming through. They have the stun into the wall. Calavoth going to be at 3/4 HP, make that 4/5. But now they could be looking for a fight. DH Bob not going to get pulled back. The containment disc does land onto the Dragonite, but the Dragonite over top, and now the Bunny Hop not going to be able to find too much, but now Shoopov going to get demech'd, but is still alive as Ivy goes into the back line and tries to jump out, but will get finished off there. The damage, unfortunately, is too high from potential Scrim Thursday, and now the Light Bomb going to find Computex. That could be their next target, but the Crystal Aegis again from AoE rules, and the healing is just so high in the Detainment Strike. Again, AoE rules just keeping the team alive. Another Dragonite is going to go down, but they still have level 19. It is still 4v5. The Condemn lands on 3. DH Bob leap strike into the back line, looking for Megatron, and with the second one, will be able to finish them off. But the core almost takes down DH Bob. But again, AoE rules not going to let the team go down. Computex starting to get low, and that will be it. It's going to be a 5-0 as potential Scrim Thursday, they get the clean 3-0. It was well fought by BoomerGaming, but at the end of the day, potential Scrim Thursday, they're an incredibly solid team, and this is one of those maps where if you're able to get ahead early, it is so hard for the enemy team to get back in. And potential Scrim Thursday, as we all know, they're very good at getting ahead early, and they were able to do just that for themselves. Now we're gonna try and find an interview. We'll see if potential Scrim Thursday do send their press secretary, as they have in the past. We'll have to give it a go. But either way, that's going to be the series here for now. And let me check who they're actually playing afterwards.
Heyo.
Hello.
Hello, hello. I'm actually a little bit surprised to see not Mundane Zebra coming in for the interview.
We need 2 people to fill his shoes.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, he needs some PTO right now, so it's this moment.
Well deserved for the press secretary. But for everyone in chat, I am joined here by AoE Rules and Blazing Moon. Sorry, Blazing Moon, what's your in-game?
Moon.
Moon? Oh, okay. But either way,
Yeah.
Congratulations on your 3-0 sweep of BoomerGaming. How does it feel?
Thank you. It feels good. I don't remember last time we didn't lose a game, to be honest. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we did play, I think, decently well. There's a lot of team cohesion. We had Jaeger. He was our daddy. He kind of kept us in place. There were many calls made that were not executed because the games would not have went the way they went if we did. So yeah, we're feeling good.
Now, I want to ask a couple questions about some of those drafts because we're going to talk with the less surprising one first, but tell me about that Artanis pick over on Garden of Terror.
Okay, so remind me what it was based on the enemy comp. They had a Joe Blaze and
I believe they also had a Rhaegar.
Rhaegar. It was a heavy frontline comp. So it was very heavy frontline comp. The Artanis with E build, or in general, has that extra HP on top of our offlaner and our tank, right? That way he can kind of protect our backline, which is Jaina, and I think I was Oreo that game.
Yes.
Yeah, I was Oreo that game, right? So we had kind of a, decently squishy backline, but our front line kind of made up for it, right?
Yeah.
Because on top of, Oreo healing a lot, and then Artan is having a, being annoying to kill and doing a lot of damage, we had an equally beefier front line than they did.
All right. No, I guess that makes a
Yep.
lot of sense, and you definitely got good value out of that Artanis.
Yeah, it's Garden too, right? Another offlaner never hurts.
And Shu just sends it every time, and we love seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta respect that kind of mentality in the games. But then the other pick that I want to talk about, I'm sure you know which one I mean. Tell me about that Lily in Game 2 on Battlefield of Eternity.
Oh, okay. So I was hovering. Okay, no. So Oreo was banned. I was like, okay, whatever. And then I was gonna hover Ana, but then they had a Dahaka, right?
Yes.
And that looked a little sketchy. Well, very sketchy. So then I think I was last pick there. We had a pretty beefy front line, so I didn't really need to heal. They had a lot of CC, 40-second CDR on what's it called, on the unstop, and then the blind on the gray main. I think that's what kind of sealed the deal. There was some other things kind of going through my head of what I could pick, but the gray main, I guess don't really need to blind Hanzo, but the gray main specifically was kind of like, okay, I'll pick Lily. Although I do want to say that Lily pick almost had zero impact the way it should have. I missed every single unstop, and my finger wasn't even pressed down on Q the entire game. So zero zero consistency there.
Well, it's still always fun to see those niche picks coming out. I mean, at this point, your entire roster is pretty famous for just kind of picking whatever. You are no slaves to meta. There's no question about that.
Yeah, I think we try. It's more fun playing heroes that aren't really played all the time. So you can see, what they can do. If we lose, we lose. It is what it is. But if we win, we win.
And
That
it also is
makes
what
us even
it
happier,
is.
right?
Yeah.
It means it works, so we'll do it again.
Yeah, putting ideas in their heads.
Hmm.
But so that's from these series. But what I really want to talk about right now is the next series. Your semifinal is going to be against Inting for Globes. So what are your thoughts on that matchup?
Moon, do you want to take this one? I genuinely don't remember any team.
Well, we're just, we'll have fun with them. It's going to be just as much ARAM as possible.
Yeah, AOE rules if you want a refresher. That is Concept, Juan Pablo, Cav Kivar, Storm Brandon, Fuzz, Albatrox 30k, and Psychotora.
Yeah, that too.
Okay. I just don't remember names. That's it.
No, I know. That's fine.
I remember players. I don't remember names.
It's the people we keep fighting,
Yeah. Well, we have had really good scrim blocks almost
Yeah.
every day. Shout out Concept. He's been scheduling our scrims against his team. So It's like a 2-in-1 job for him. So shout out Concept for that. We have been getting some good games in most of the time. But yeah, that will be a fun match. We're excited to actually play it. I'm not sure what I'll be relegated to. I was relegated to healer this game. I might be relegated to healer again, or maybe something else. But we're gonna try to pull out something interesting.
All right.
Yeah, it'll be definitely fun to watch. You won't expect what's going to happen, and that's the fun of it.
Yeah, I'm looking
We
forward
won't
to that
expect what's
series.
gonna happen.
If I can, I'm
Yeah.
definitely going to try to pick it up. So, but one final question I have before the usual final question. So with your, like you kind of brought up a little bit there, AoE, you guys constantly swap roles, swap players. What's that like for the team? Does it cause confusion, or do you think it gives more freedom to how you want to play?
Okay, so that's a really good question. And so we are kind of thankful that a lot of us have already played with each other a lot, right? So our entire team pretty much has I don't want to say experience, but we've all played in all sorts of like settings. So competitive, having fun, trying out new things, right? Every player has that with every other player, right? So if we put, you know, 5 people on, we can put another like different group of 5 people the next game, and it really won't change anything because most of the part we can swap roles too, right? Like I can play healer decently well. I can play DPS, sometimes play offlane, right? But then I'm sort of covering 3 roles, right? And then same thing with other players on the team. If not 3, 4, 5, or all the roles, right? So it honestly comes down to more of what heroes we want to play, and not what roles, because we do have some overlap on heroes, right? Like I don't play some heroes, but someone else will play those heroes. And so if we think that the comp, wants like a Stukov, right? I don't know how to play Stukov. So if we need a Stukov, someone else will pick up Stukov, and then, I'll do something else. It kind of gives us the flexibility, right? It's hard to scout out because I did see that Tehran ban, because I did play Tehran. I don't know if it's about
Yep.
me. I want to think that it's about me, but I did play Tehran our last series twice, and I think I have a pretty good track record with it.
100% so far, yeah.
But see, if I wasn't on healer, that would have been kind of a wasted ban, right?
Yeah.
You never know who's gonna pick what.
Yeah, we don't know sometimes, It could be we want to have two people really want to play healer, then go for it, in the same match. We want to play multiple tanks, we'll have fun. It's just whatever mood you're in, whatever vibe we're feeling, and just having fun with each other.
So is it fair to say then that you're basically encompassing the quote, "If we don't know what we're doing, then the enemy surely can't know what we're doing."
Absolutely.
All right, but it's always entertaining watching your games. And my final question, are there any shout outs you'd like to give? Anything you'd like to say to all your fans out there?
All
Go
right,
for
so
it, Dawie.
shout out DH Bob. Of course, we have to shout him out.
Mhm.
DH Bob keeps the team pretty intact, but also shout out Jaeger for having sane calls, and pulling us away from fighting 19 to almost level 20, and inting. So a lot of his calls have been really good, and kind of, if we have like keeping a lead, like if we have a lead, we won't just int it on a camp. And we need that, or else we would be inting on camps.
I've definitely seen some of that in past series, that's for sure. But Blazing Moon,
And
anything from you?
yeah, shout out to BoomerGaming. We love screaming you guys. It's always fun to just derp around and try new things. Yeah, especially IP. Thanks for scheduling those things. And yeah, once again, shout out to DH Bob for keeping this team intact. all the scheduling, all the work is on his side. So thanks. Oh, also, yeah, shout out to Concept for being our co-captain this season too, for all the scrims that he's scheduled for us. So appreciate that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming to this interview. Congratulations again on your 3-0 sweep, and you have yourselves a good night.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yes.
streaming too.
Yeah, no problem. Bye-bye. And with that, we are going to be ending the stream here, and I actually don't have any casts scheduled, nor are there any available casts for me to pick up. This is unprecedented over the last few months, but with semifinals and onwards, all the games are going to be on Nexus Gaming Series or Nexus Gaming Series 2. So if you want to watch those games, be sure to follow the channel or keep an eye out on the Discord on the streams live thing. I'll be doing some pings if I'm the one casting. Signups should be coming out. And we will see. I will definitely be casting some games. Can't guarantee which ones, but thank you all for watching today. And one final quick shout out to HelloFresh, the sponsor of today's stream. HelloFresh is a meal kit that makes it easier to fit quick, home-cooked meals into your schedule every week by curating delicious recipes, delivering perfectly portioned ingredients, and minimizing prep time. Use my code or the link below in the panel to get 10 free meals and unlimited and one free add-on per box for life. But with that, that'll be it for me. I will send you off to the next series. There's plenty more NGS going on right now, so I'll see you when I see you, and have a good night.